Okay, cool. So today we have Trixie over here. Trixie at Trixie Creates. Trixie has gone from many uh negative experiences in the past with a lot of different business models to now making over close to $100,000 in her first 9 months of studying. Okay, we have another person joining. Okay, cool. Yeah, Trixie. So I think, your story has been very inspiring to everybody in terms of like, where you came from to where you are right now. And your story is by no means smooth, like you had it really, really rough, in the beginning prior to starting, financially, with your health and stuff. So would you like to give a backstory to everybody listening?
Yeah, sure. I am a full-time nurse. I do all these other side jobs. I have three kids and a family. So I do a lot of things. I've gone through a lot of things in life as well. Royston joked about it before that I had 9 lives because I really did go through a lot of things, you know. And it just prompted me to basically want to know more on how I can spend more time with my family while not working so much. So it prompted me to search for, things to do online, how to make more money online, and while being able to still spend time with my family. So I found Royston's program, I believe last summer. Um, and around that time, I was just experimenting with TikTok Shop, UGC, but I didn't really have like a structure, I guess. Didn't know there was like a lot of ways to create income online. So, I went through this program and found that there was, more to it than just your usual, I don't know, whatever you think is ways to make money online. And there's just so many ways. So one of the ways that I've been making my extra income online is through digital marketing. And yeah.
Okay, that's great. And prior to like starting with like TikTok, UGC, Instagram, like you tried a lot of different like business models, right? Like was like
Yeah.
e-commerce and like
Yeah. So I tried some, done for you e-com where they um, try to search for a product for you to advertise, and you would give them money for ads. And I just spent so much money, like thousands and thousands of dollars, to these people. And I tried different agencies, but ultimately it was all the same. Like I did not get anything out of it. It sent me to more debt. And yeah, but luckily, I tried again and found you guys. So um, yeah, I'm just excited that something's finally taking off because I got burned so many times online, especially in the online world where you don't know who to trust, what to trust, what's valid, what's not. So, of course, me being, you know, scammed so many times already, I did my homework with Royston's group. I even booked a call with them like two, three times, I think. And like gave them a hard time because I really was just so guarded about it. It's like, wait. But they're cool. I even met Royston in person, so he's legit and he's a nice dude. And yeah.
yeah, this was like over a span of like a couple of months, that you even spoke about team 3 times. I know like it's painful to recall like past memories and stuff. Do you mind sharing like how much like you had to lose, like you lost in the past with all those other stuff?
Yeah, so I had previously paid one agency like 5 grand and another one like 6 grand, and that doesn't even like include all the ads that I had to pay that part of their program had to make me pay. So there was all sorts of stuff that there were all sorts of fees within the whole program itself. And I think overall I lost, I want to say like maybe $20,000 overall. Um, but I'm getting all that back now plus more. So yeah.
Amazing. And the reason I ask is not to, haunt you with your past experiences and stuff, but it's just to showcase to everybody that, hey, like, you know, people think like you need this perfect, smooth journey or start and stuff, but you had it the opposite, you know? Yours was like the inverse. Yours was like the worst case scenario to the best case scenario, you know? You know, and there's this like quote, like, the trees, like how tall the tree can grow is as deep as the root can go, you know? So like people who like have a lot of success, it's an analogy for people who have a lot of success, had to go through as much, as I say, like
Mhm.
the path to like heaven is like, it's like hell, So the reason I ask just like really show people like, no matter like how much you've gone through, you can still make it out alive and successful, you know? And that's just
Mhm.
like the financial part of it, like I so saw that, you have to go through like a lot, of like your family stuff, health stuff, you know, and it's just to showcase to everybody that like, hey, no matter like what life throws at you, as long as you keep persevering, you can succeed, and just show everybody like you had it really tough, yet you made it out alive,
Yeah, you could. Yeah, literally.
Okay. So just want to understand like how did you start and how did you evolve? Like initially you started with TikTok. How was the success there? Like what did you do and how did it, gradually progress to like what you're doing right now?
Yeah, so initially I started TikTok as a TikTok shop affiliate. I had grown already from like a personal TikTok to the following count needed in order to start it, but I couldn't get into the program for some reason. So I went through you guys' modules and see what else I could optimize. And when I got into the program, I was selling items, but they were little like here and there, like $1 here, $1 there, until you guys advised that maybe I should start selling like higher commission products, and that's when I looked into other items that provided bigger commissions, and that's when I just started racking up um, these commission on there on TikTok. And on my first month or two, I believe I generated like about 12,000. So that's where like I got addicted to the hustle, I guess you could say, and got a taste of like, oh shit, it's real money. Like I I like really wanted to wait until it hit my bank to like tell people like, oh shit, it's working, because I didn't want to sound stupid again, I'm being scammed or whatnot. um so yeah, that was the first my journey.
Okay, that's amazing. So you made your first 12 grand with TikTok. Then how did you like transition over to your current like Instagram success? Because when, I flew out and met you in person, time like your Instagram thingy was just like kick starting, was like about to take off. Right now it's like, riding high. So do you mind sharing about your journey with Instagram and whatnot?
Sure. So I really wanted to look more into um expanding into other platforms. I saw on there you guys had a module on Instagram and how to possibly monetize that. So I continued to dig deeper into what ways are to monetize the Instagram world. And I discussed with you guys like I want to, monetize my Instagram. How can I do that? And then you guys said to sell digital products. And I was like, what the hell is a digital product? So, I thought of ebooks and all that, guys, blah, blah, blah. But there was so much more to that. But I just kept on trying to really dig deeper and deeper and like going through you guys' modules and seeing what else I could like search around. And eventually I got to the point where, um, yeah, I just figured out that there's more to it than just creating like a Canva product, and you can actually sell other people's products and affiliate marketing and all that. So basically, same as what I've been doing on TikTok, with physical products, but rather, with digital products.
That's amazing. And before we dive into the masterclass that you conduct, one thing that's really inspirational, as you shared in the start, that I just remembered to bring up, is you share like, you're working or you work or are currently working as a nurse, real estate agent, you have your own like event business, you have a big family. So you're like working like four full-time jobs, technically,
Yeah, yeah.
And this just goes to show, like, no matter like how busy the schedule is, like whatever responsibilities and this is just to like prove to everybody, like, you really have like all the odds against you, from like your past experiences, even like, you having to work like so many hours, long hours, every, like 5, 6 days a week, yet you are still able to like, find the time for this? Like, how do you like juggle with all the responsibilities you have? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely trying to balance your time to maintain your sanity. That's always, important. So what I do is I dedicate at least, honestly, at least 2 hours, of my time a day. So I do right when I wake up, I do some marketing on Instagram. And then right before I sleep, I create content and then post that. Um, yeah, so at least 2 hours a day. And even on like my breaks here and there at work is where I can like sprinkle in those times. But yeah, doable. I mean, if I can do it with like 10 million jobs and like 1,000 kids, so can you guys.
That's amazing. Like Tony Robbins have a saying, like it's not about the resources, it's about how resourceful we are, how resourceful we are with our time, with whatever we have. Um, does anybody have any questions? If not, we can dive right into the technicalities of things. Yeah.
What
Okay.
made me choose Instagram eventually? Is it a brand new account or an old aged account? So coming from TikTok, I wanted to basically focus my time on just one platform and try to, build my brand through there. And one of the ways that, I was able to do that is to basically create my own digital marketing, brand. Your brand, as I will tell you guys later, is basically your persona, your personality on Instagram. Um, but I eventually chose that, uh, just only because, eventually, in the future, I wanted to expand more, like as a brand on there. And TikTok, you're kind of limited by just selling other people's, products on there. So I dove more into Instagram, and it is a brand new account. I will show you guys, I'll teach you guys some growth strategies later to create a brand new account without getting restricted by IG, because they're quite strict on like, new accounts, and especially faceless accounts. Yeah, so it's for me, it was best that I create a new account rather than an old one, just to kind of separate the algorithms, um, from my personal and my business one. So, yeah.
Okay, amazing. Okay, so before we dive right into the masterclass again, just want to reiterate and hone in the point again that what is so inspirational and motivating about your journey and your story, Trixie, is like, again, yet all the odds against you, like, from like losing 20 grand, like most people, they lose like a few $100, like $1,000, then you give up.
Yeah,
Like
I know.
yours was like the extreme is like, you know, one of the highest amount somebody can lose like online, like not the highest, but for like somebody who has yet to see any income online for that demographic of people, like the amount of money you lost prior to that was already one of the highest one could have lost. Um, but when you start out in business and stuff, then you might be high and stuff. And the thing about like these like like negative experiences and stuff, we can always reframe it to try to see the positive in it. Like, it helps us like learn how to do like better like research, due diligence, teaches us that like right now maybe we lose this certain amount of money, but we can still afford to lose it. But it teaches us a lesson so that when we're older and when something's higher at stake, you know, it prevents us from losing an even bigger amount when we can't afford to lose it. So we reframe it that way, just makes us feel better, and there's a positive lesson to learn from. Like I myself have like lost like way more in that. But it taught me, lessons and stuff. And also, apart from that, Trixie, like with all the different commitments and responsibilities you have, again, what's so inspirational is, unlike most people, like you're like one of the busiest person anyone can be. You're a mother with so many children. You have like two jobs, your own business and stuff. So again, like against all odds, again, like you had it way sort of tougher than most people. So there's like literally no excuses or no reason whatsoever for anybody, to not succeed. Yeah. Okay. Now that, we've gone through that, Trixie, anything else you want to share like personally and stuff before we jump right to the masterclass?
Yeah. So, disclosure with you guys, this is my first master class, so I'm a little nervous, so pardon me if I stutter or whatnot, but I'll do my best. I mostly like for you guys who want to start a faceless account, that's totally doable, and I totally get you because I tend to like, hide behind the screen. I'm more better in like text and messaging, but yeah, so bear with me, guys. And I think there's a question there.
But before that, like any like other like words of advice, like when it comes to like, like getting started, like mindset stuff, anything else you want to share?
Yeah, so okay, you know, I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy. I don't think any business is easy. Anything that you're gonna start, there's gonna be challenges, there's gonna be obstacles, but you can't fail at something that you'll continue doing. So as long as you take action and as long as you persevere, you feel motivated, you feel excitement, even though there may not be something going on, celebrate. What I tell um, my students on Instagram on there right now is celebrate every little thing, every little win. It's really all about mindset, and the reason why Royston's being so successful in here right now because his mindset, as you can tell, is so deep. So his mindset is on point. But yeah, that's you gotta have the right mindset in this business, and yeah.
Okay, amazing, Trixie. Yeah, so please take it away with your masterclass.
All right, you guys. So the first thing I'm going to explain is what digital marketing is. Digital marketing is basically the art of creating marketing content to sell your offers. So it's basically how you position your offers in your content in order to generate the leads and the sales. And what I learned in this journey is that it's not as easy as, creating an ad or a little commercial snippet of a reel. There's so much more to that. There's psychology involved in your content. There's subliminal sprinkles in there that you can put in your captions and your hooks and your CTAs, and I'll explain to you guys further what these mean. And yeah, so digital marketing encompasses selling your own digital products or other people's products, affiliate marketing. And the good thing about digital marketing is that you don't even have to create your own product. You don't even have to be creative. You don't have to create anything on Canva or whatever. It's good to provide something for as an offer that you created, but the cool thing is that you can sell other people's items, and Royston has an affiliate market program as well that you can sell. Um, and so with that, the only thing really that will that you have to think of to create outside of creating something tangible basically is creating ideas with your content, with your hooks and your captions and your reels, and I'll go over that with you. And we're gonna start first though from top to bottom, and let me just make sure we are on pace here. How long do we have, Royston?
As long as time permits for you.
As long as I don't bore these people. Okay, got it. All right, so let me see if can I share screen on here?
You should be able to.
Okay. Core chat. Okay. If not,
You should
why?
be able to share a screen, right? Let me know if you're able to.
Settings, chat. Where did it go? It's on Chrome. All right, it's okay.
Are you able to share a screen or like what does it say? Um,
Settings. It was just there.
Sometimes you gotta, if that happens, sometimes you gotta restart Zoom. Then you gotta like
Oh,
rejoin Zoom. Yeah, that happens on Mac. Like once you change like permission, you gotta like restart and rejoin.
okay. Because before we started, I made sure that it was there just so I don't look like a dummy trying to figure it out. But it disappeared. Hold on.
Yeah, pause.
It was just a checklist. It
Okay,
was just a checklist of what I sent, and I wanted to just go over that. Um,
sure. Maybe you can send it to me, then I'll share my screen. Oh,
yeah. Okay, sent.
Okay, cool. Okay. Okay, gonna share my screen. Okay, there we go.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, I
All
think
right.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so I don't know how far along you guys are here in terms of creating your Instagram account or whatnot. Um, but the first step is to, of course, create your Instagram account. And hold on one second.
and Trixie, you need to address everybody as you girls because it's literally all girls.
You girls.
Your audience is all girls.
All right, ladies. Let me just pop this. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna discuss basically before we create our Instagram is brainstorming your brand. So your branding, keep in mind that your branding is gonna be your front line on your Instagram. It's the first thing that people are going to see, whether you are face front or faceless. Your branding has to be unforgettable. Basically, it's the first thing that they see. You have to be able to stand out, especially with other faceless creators out there. A lot of their avatars are just from stock photos with like their face covered or whatnot. You have to really be more um, creative in terms of standing out. Like, for example, with mine, although it's just me because it's face forward, I try to incorporate at least something that's consistent in there, which is pink. My favorite color is pink. And I'm a nurse, so I incorporate that in there as well as part of my branding. Um, so really determining what it is that how you want to stand out. It could be either theme colors or your hobbies, your interests, and how you can incorporate that into your Instagram account. Because, like I said, there's like thousands of digital marketers out there, if not more. So you have to really stand out in order to, generate that trust, that being able to be plucked out among all the other hundreds and thousands of creators in this space. So that's for branding. Now,
Just a question on that, Trixie. Like, when someone first starts out, like, how do you like create a unique sort of branding and stuff? Because it's like
mhm,
so hard to stand out. And if you talk about branding and stuff, some people might like overanalyze and like overthink on this. Like it's important, yet it's not the defining factor of things. It's something that somebody like iterates over time and stuff. So like what's your like best like concrete advice for this?
ultimately, you want to incorporate something that's you because a lot of how I made my sales were based on people that connected with me. So, whether this was because I'm a mom or a healthcare worker or just being a millennial, I don't know. But just incorporate you yourself as a person in there. You don't want to overthink, your business brand either, but just showing your personality in your brand helps. And for the next one, we have different types of digital marketing accounts. There are faceless, face front, there's even AI now, and there's animation. Um, and we're going to talk about the differences in each one, and I'm going to go through this list too, but I wanted to talk first about like branding before you even create that account, because once you create that Instagram account, um, you should have had your branding in mind already and determine, the type of digital marketing account that you want to be, whether faceless, face front, AI, and animation. So for face front, that's what I do, but I also have another faceless account, um, in which you post what's called a real bank or a real library. These are 4-second little clips that you can readily upload as your content, and you don't have to show your face or whatnot. It's easier for me to express myself being face forward, but of course, you don't have to. You can create a digital marketing account completely faceless. And again, going back to your persona and identity, um, one of the ways that you can further stand out is really choosing that biopic, um, and being consistent with it. Like, for example, Royston has a photo in all, his social media, and that's basically the only one that he uses in his profile pictures, because that serves as your brand. That's something that you got to be consistent with. So that way, when people scroll through their feed, they see you, your little bubble, and they'll know like it's you. It's advised for you not to change your profile pic, just like a personal Instagram, because in business, just like in business, when you change your logos around, it creates confusion. And also, a part of creating your brand and business are your values, your sub audience, your interests. My sub audience, I guess you could say, are also other moms. So whenever I create content, um, my captions speak to other moms, other healthcare workers, and I do this by sprinkling in those keywords in the caption, so that way Instagram knows to push that content out as well to that type of sub audience. And we'll go through with how to capture your audience as well to generate your leads and sales through your reels. But that's just something to think about also when creating your brand. So we'll go. Are there any questions on branding before we go on to finally creating your Instagram account? No. Okay. So first step is to finally create our Instagram account. I know that it sounds, easy. It sounds common sense. It sounds like it's common sense. We all probably have Instagram accounts, but we have personal Instagram accounts. When I created my digital marketing Instagram account, honestly, I failed twice. I recreated accounts like 3 times because my first two got what we call restricted, or what we call in digital marketing world, IG jail. There are certain keywords that you cannot, or advised not to, have in your bio and in your handle. Um, Otherwise, you'll get like flagged on IG. So, do you use a new email or brand new email? I create a new email. So, like for example, whatever your handle is, try to match your email to that. And it's important to also, even if you're faceless, put the right contacts in there, because that's how Instagram also flags you as a quote unquote scammer and might restrict your account further. So you have to have matching emails, and phone numbers. If you want to keep, your phone number protected if you're faceless, I just created like a burner phone number, and I used that. But you have to make sure that your email is, accessible so that you can confirm that it's really you. Um, does it have to be a US based account? No. Digital marketers are all from throughout the world. I have a lot of students that are from UK, Canada, India. So all throughout the world, you can create an Instagram account. That should be no problem. So when you create your Instagram account, first thing you have to think about is your name. Having SEO words, or what's it called, search engine optimized keywords in your name, whether it be digital marketing or creator, like mine says yes, Trixie creates, and some people have digital marketing Rob or something, digital or something with that nature. Um, what do you mean by sync contacts?
Yeah, but by the way, feel free to like answer the questions like after you like, because we don't
Later.
want you like
Okay.
lose your train of thought, you know.
Yeah, I do. Okay. So, yeah, make sure you have digital marketing in your name, or faceless digital marketer or something like that. I know a lot of people, from 2023, 2024, back in that era, some people can get away with just like their names and whatnot. But now it seems as if the algorithm favors more, if you have those SEO keywords in your name and on your bio. So that's that for the handle. Make sure you select one that you're not going to change. That you're not going to change within like 2 weeks. Because if you change your name or your bio within 2 weeks, you'll also get flagged by Instagram because they think that you're someone that's trying to have multiple accounts and personalities to scam out people or something. And then the next step with creating your Instagram account is selecting your bio. Your bio is really important. It's what they will see the first thing that they go onto your page. So on your bio, when you create your Instagram account, like for example, this is mine. I don't know, probably can't see it, but there's 4 lines in an Instagram bio. The first line I would advise you guys to put as basically the main purpose of your Instagram. So mine's is teaching people how to make money on IG. Keywords to avoid. Note how I said making money on IG. Money was one of the words that I got flagged for in my old accounts. Um, and my first handle was like make money with Trixie or something. But money tends to be something that gets flagged by IG for some reason. So instead of the word money, I replaced it with the emoji of cash. So the first line should be about, what you are going to do for people that visit you. Second line, should be something that you achieved in this space or as a community space. So, for example, if you are going to affiliate sell Royston's program, you're going to say you can say a community win, like you know made millions or something in this community win or something like that. For me, I just put made 0 to 50K in 4 months with digital marketing. As long as you have the word digital marketing on your bio, that helps with optimizing the search engine as well. But avoid words like money, passive income. Okay, these are just from my experience, okay, guys. From how I got my other 2 accounts before this restricted when I was new. So avoid words like passive income. time freedom or income freedom, or I don't know, something that just sounds like a get rich scheme and basically too good to be true, you know? And for the third line, have what's called a CTA to your freebie. So a CTA is a call, means call to action. A call to action basically tells people what to do further in order to take that action to start. So it could just, mine is just DM how to start, or comment info and follow my journey and learn for free below. And then you kind of point to your affiliate link on your fourth line. So first line has to be, you know, sole purpose of the account. Second line, your achievement or community achievements. Third is your CTA, like DM how to start. And then fourth line is your link. And how to prime your account. So let's say you created your account already, um, and you don't know what to do. It's sitting there. You're wondering what the hell to post. Um, you know, where do you start? So the first thing that I did, and keep in mind, guys, I don't know what's wrong, what's right, but these are just based on my experience. Okay. Every one of us digital marketers have different strategies, but I am just teaching you the specific strategies that I use personally. Because you know you'll encounter other digital marketers out there who'll say, "Oh, but why did you do that? I did this." What works for one may not work for another. And vice versa. Okay, so this is just something that worked for me in generating, you know, 5 figures a month now. So the first thing I did was prime my account. And what that means is I'm basically aligning my algorithm to the right audience that's likely to engage, purchase, view, and basically become your customers. And if you're wondering, you know, how the hell am I going to find my buyers, or where am I going to, you know, find these people? How are they going to buy my products? This is exactly how. This is where you start, is by optimizing your algorithm. And how I did that was okay, so for example, like your main Instagram account, I don't know if you can even see that. There is a magnifying button on there. We call that the explore page. Um, so you click that explore page magnifying button like right when you start, and I searched immediately on there like how to make money online, digital marketing 101, how to start your digital marketing business, online side hustles, you know, stuff like that. Because what the explore page is basically Instagram's way of knowing who to push out your content to. So if you see that your explore page are like cats, dogs, hot dogs, food, I don't know, if it's like all over the place, we call that misalignment. So your explore page is not in alignment with your niche, with your content, with your target audience. So immediately priming that before you even create the content will boost your real views organically. Organically meaning you don't have to purchase ads, followers, views, because ultimately, for me anyway, like that hurt my account to begin with, my first 2 ones. It's also how I got restricted. So, you know, I thought of ways to grow organically, to generate views organically, because these are the people that are eventually going to become your customers anyways. So what I did was I searched on the explore page keywords that people would search otherwise when they're trying to find ways to, you know, look for money online. And I kept doing that until my explore page basically looked like a bunch of videos of how to make money online or digital marketing videos. And if I find a video on there that doesn't pertain to our niche, you would click the video. So you would basically go on your explore page. Let's say something here doesn't pertain to our niche. I would click on that video. Okay. And then I would click, there's a dot, dot, dot on the bottom right. And then I would click not interested. And so that kind of tells your algorithm that, hey, man, this isn't my niche. Don't show this to me and don't show this to people that are searching for that video. Am I making sense, guys? Like, I need some feedback as to if I'm making sense or not, or if I'm just rambling. You guys are still with me? Okay. All right. So that is the algorithm, the explore pages purpose is to basically know, to let Instagram know who to push out your content to. If it's in misalignment of your niche, of your content, you'll find your views are like 100 or 45 real views, 200 real views. And that's because when people who are not in alignment of your content, like for example, if they have no interest in your content at all, if your content's getting pushed out to, I don't know, scientists or something, and they see your make money video and they'll be like, what the, I don't need this shit, I'm already rich. They'll just scroll past through that. And what that will tell Instagram is that your videos are not worth watching, and they then will in turn not push this out to other what we call non-followers. So for growth, it is really extremely important to align your algorithm to your niche. So we call this cleaning up your explore page, and adding people within this niche also helps optimize that. So, you know, I added Royston and other digital marketers. First, you got to add like the big digital marketers to kind of piggyback off of their algorithm. So, Royston has like 20 million followers. I don't know. So I add him, and like you kind of like piggyback off of that. So by adding these people, it's telling your algorithm that these are the people within your niche, and the people that are interacting with their page will also be exposed to your content and vice versa. So that's that for priming your account right when you start. You got to follow at least 25 to 30 other digital marketers as well, just to start it off. But don't do it quickly or consecutively, like because Instagram will restrict your account. So what that means is just follow other people, digital marketers, and space it out throughout the day. And yeah, that's that for priming your account.
Follow-up
And
question, Trixie. Like, how did you know like your account got flagged? Was it at the account status that showed you your account got flagged, or?
yeah, so good question. So let's see. On your Instagram account, there is a home button, and then, oops, on the settings where the lines are, I would go down and you go on account status. So you see how mine's is all green right now? That means all is good so far. But if you see a red on there, especially where it says what can't be recommended or removed content, that means Instagram flagged your account. And how I found out to begin with is I got an email saying, you know, your account has been restricted from activity. From activity means it's a temporary ban, suspension, 90 days. You can still upload, create content, but you're restricted as to what you can do. Like you can't follow, you can't like, you can't engage with anyone. Um, you get 3 strikes. And you won't even know until like you get these, but there's certain keywords on there that you cannot use, like I mentioned in your bio, like make money online. Rich, I believe, is one of them. Freedom. Um, Basically anything that just sounds spammy, scammy, and that sounds like it's a too good to be true, get rich scheme kind of ordeal. And yeah, so you'll get an email, and then the worst part is when they tell you that you can't be shown to non-followers. When you get that email, you're basically screwed because you can't get growth. You're stuck within your like what 100 followers, whatever you grew up to, you're stuck to that, and you can't reach other people, new customers, and all that. And that's for a good forever ban. So when you get that, you can either appeal it to Instagram and say why it wasn't breaking the criteria, and their criterias are like fraudulent activity or spammy, scammy information, stuff like that. So you can appeal that, but sometimes it's best to not appeal it and just delete the content straight up before they even get a chance to delete it. Um, and you'll get clues when Instagram doesn't like your content because it suppresses your views, your organic views. So you'll find that your reels are like 50 real views, 100, and this means that Instagram sees little sprinkle of words in your content that it doesn't like. Um, so yeah.
And another question is, just now when you mentioned like sync contacts, like do you literally mean like sync the contacts on Instagram with the contacts we already have, or
Oh, I don't think I said sync contacts. If I did, my bad. That was just a mispronunciation. But no, don't sync your contacts. I meant um like make sure when you sign up for your Instagram, it's an account and like an email or a phone number that you can verify. And another question, how long did it take for me to prime my account? So yes, priming means before posting anything. So you prime your algorithm, and this usually takes like a day to a week to do so, depending on how active you are on there. Because the more you scroll, and the more you like niche related content, the more it'll be primed. So, yeah. And do I have a specific list of keywords to do the prime? Yeah, I'll send Royston that, and then I don't know, he can send it to you guys. But it's, yeah, basically things like restricted, make money online, passive income, all that stuff. How to decide what content to create on daily basis when you are new. Yes, so I'll be going over that, and I know there's like a long list on here, but the how to decide what content to create is I think of the product first that I am trying to sell. So with selling, guys, it's serving over selling. So meaning you have to provide a solution to their problem in order to sell the product. So we can't just do what other thousands of digital marketers do out there, which is, hey, I'm making this, sign up for this, comment, start for a free guide or whatever like that. You have to really create, and this is where your creativity takes place also. You have to create content that can cater to their needs. So, for example, my target audience are current digital marketers that are struggling. So I cater to their problems with growth, with leads and sales. And, I generate ideas based on that. So there's um, parts of a content that I'll go over with you. There's a hook, captions, and CTA. And how you think of a hook, which is the first line of a reel, is determining first what the problem is of the product that you are trying to sell. So for example, if you're selling Royston's products, a lot of us, our problems are, wanting supplemental income, generating more income on the side. So you would create a reel that caters to that problem and say something like, um, you know, your hook could be like POV, you finally quit your job or something like that. And then my reels are basically like 4-second little clippets of just me doing dumb things. You don't even have to like overthink what your reels are. It's the words and the messaging that's most, important in this business. It's how you present your offers rather than how you sell it, if that makes any sense. So if you are faceless, there are faceless real banks. And sometimes, I would even just go to, if I can't create a content, I would go to Pinterest and just download something from there or something. But as long as it's no longer than 4 seconds, you have a good hook on there. A hook is that 1 or 2 liner words on the screen of the video to capture a person's attention. That's the one thing that you really have to focus on, because that's what will capture their attention. Because if they can't, they'll just scroll past you. But if they see something like you're posting, but you're not generating sales, here's why. Then they see it and it's like, oh shit, like, why is that? Maybe I should learn more about why. So that's when they'll click on your reel, they'll read your captions, and if you write your captions accordingly to sell, what I do for my captions are basically I just write about my experience just to be more authentic about it, rather than here, buy this now because this product will. That is a no-no. That's like car salesman salesy. How the art of digital marketing is basically selling without being salesy. So the art of subliminally selling, if you know what I mean, through your content, through your captions, through your hooks. So what I do to think of ideas is I go by educational, progress, and motivational. I do those 3 pillars. We call those pillars. Pillars are basically real topics. So I would have like a motivational video on there, to get people to start digital marketing. Um, I'd post a lot of family stuff sometimes, and I show what's been made possible by my side income, that stuff like that. So that's a motivational reel. Educational reels are basically things like IG growth tips and tricks. I would say things like, oh, and instead of saying how I grew from 0 to 1,000 followers, you have to reword that and say something like, I got stuck at 50 followers until I did this. Like more curiosity driven hooks. Um, and then, yeah, so I would just alternate between those types of reels. Any other questions I missed? You heard the first 2 new weeks of account. It's important to boost account. Yes. So, good question because I missed that. So the first 2 weeks of creating a new account, Instagram automatically pushes new and smaller accounts to the algorithm. It suggests your profile to also other similar followers. So basically, as a support group to support each other. Instagram wants you to support other people within your same following count and the same time that you guys started. So you'll get shown to people who started the same time as you and vice versa. Now, with priming your account, take at least a day or three to do that before you post. However, to maximize the use of that 2 week push of your Instagram boost, clean up your explore page during those 2 weeks as well. So you can post, however, continue to clean up your explore page and make sure you are engaging with other similar niche in order to continue to prime it. And let's see. Okay, so auditing your account, we already did that. What certain keywords gets audited. Now, storefront, you can either have like Royston has a funnel. If you want to do that, you can just put that on your link. If you want to create your own digital products, there's something called Stan and Beacons. And those are digital storefronts that you can basically use to host your digital products that you want to download. And how to grow your account. So, how to grow your account organically. For this new era, Instagram will know whether you could probably get away with it, but it's best, to grow organically. Purchasing followers, purchasing views, purchasing comments, over time tends to hurt your account. So organic growth is best. And how I organically grew to almost 3,000 followers is basically engaging with others in the same niche. So what we call that, in the beginning, during the first 2 weeks of Instagram boost, really use that to your advantage, because that's when you'll grow the most. So follow other digital marketers within your niche. Within your following count and same timeline. And then they're the ones most likely to follow you back as well. So these people will also serve as your customers, because when I first started, immediately, people like to compare. It's like a natural human instinct. So with the people that I started with around the same time, when they start seeing my growth, my progress, because a part of my marketing strategy is to also show my wins for transparency, for growth, for progress, and show people, how far you've come. So with these people that you've added from the same time that you started, when they see you growing and growing, these will be the people that will serve as your customers, and they'll DM you and say, "Oh, how did you, grow, blah, blah, blah." And that's when you can sell or, promote whatever item and offers that you have. And that's how basically I grew my account. And also engaging with other people is a must, but don't overdo it. I would suggest maybe 3 to 5 reels a day so you don't get restricted over liking and over commenting. Because with new accounts, IG really is really strict. And that's with that, engaging without risk of getting restricted. So there's a couple of ways to engage. Engage means to basically show support to other people, so that way your content is shown to these people. And why that's important is because without people seeing your content, you'll have no customers. Okay? So it's really important that your content gets pushed out to the right people. And by engaging, so viewing their stories, you click on their stories, you like it, but again, no more than 3 to 5. And you hit interested, not interested in their videos, like what I showed earlier. So you click on the video, click on the right dots and click interested or not interested. You could also save videos for inspo. Just like TikTok, you can recreate people's viral reels. So you can create similar hooks as these trending or viral videos. But I would advise you create your own captions because that's you, your personality, your brand in these captions. So you can use other people's hooks for inspo, but you gotta have your own messaging aligned. And that's also how you'll position your offers. You position your offers and your hooks and your messaging and how you sell. You know, a lot of people wonder, how am I gonna sell people my products? Do I do I message them and send them my link? No. So you create content in your reels. You have a CTA call to action in your caption that says, comment, grow below, and I'll let you know how I organically grew from 0 to 3,000 followers or something like that. And then once these people comment your keyword in the comment, depending on what automation you use, there's automations like ManyChat. Um, there's even one in your Instagram. Depending on the automation that you choose, that keyword will trigger that automation to send them a message of, hey, thank you for, commenting my keyword. This is what it's about, yada, yada. And then you can send them your link. And that's basically how you can, automate things and how they can purchase through your reels. Does that make sense? Because when I first started, I wondered how the hell are they going, how do I post my link in my reels and all that? But you do that all via DM. So when they comment your keyword in your reels, that triggers an automation and it sends your link to them. And any
Uh,
questions?
yeah, I got a question for you, Trixie. Like, I think one thing that I think the stuff that you really excel at is the um like knowing what sort of reels to create, the copy, the hooks and stuff. Um, as well as like, there are so many at least like for the digital products that you're promoting, there are like literally 100,000 plus other people promoting the same products. So I think like what's really unique that we really want to ask, like, how do you like differentiate yourself from the literally 100,000 other people trying to promote the same product? How do you like convince other people to like buy from you? And like you reaching like other digital marketers, like most of these people, like once they've bought something, like they'll be a bit more like resistant and there'll be like higher friction for them to buy something else compared to like a innocent, naive, like first time buyer? So like how do you like, circumvent and like overcome all this?
Yeah, good question. So the reason why I target digital marketers is that for me anyway, they're more likely to purchase product because they're already in they already started the business. They want to make it work. They're more inclined to keep trying until they fail. And for a lot of them, failure is not an option. A lot of digital marketers really do have that strong mindset. It's just that they are wanting to look for ways to succeed in this space. So I kind of generate um, what I did differently from other digital marketers is that other digital marketers cater to selling the product. So they would advertise the specs. They would advertise like what this product has, what's inside. But I guess my background in psychology, I find a way to trigger those what we call pain points. Pain points are things like, if you're a current digital marketer, like you've been in the space for a year and you haven't sold anything. So that's an example problem. So I would use that as a hook and say, POV, you've been in the space for a year but haven't sold one thing. Here's why. You know what I mean? So that's how I would just basically um, target these people by targeting their problem and their pain point. and standing out from other digital marketers. I create my own messaging. You know, a lot of people use Chat GPT, and that's completely fine. But I like to write. I write in my journal. I write in my diary. So I use these contents as basically a journal for me and my progress. And that, I guess, makes it more genuine, more authentic, more likely that people are going to trust you, um, rather than sounding like, thousands of other people out there. So messaging really is key to standing out in this space. And yeah, and so are we? How to identify problems to a solution? Like I said, um, I try to target people's pain points and help create a solution to, and then put that in my content as to how, rather than selling the product itself, I try to provide a solution just to genuinely help, others, whether it be like a free guide of, I don't know, of how to grow organically, like what I'm saying here right now, I would put, in a guide or something, and just basically try to genuinely help um, other people before you sell the product. Like it takes a lot of time to nurture your audience, especially when it's a higher price ticket item. They need to see your content multiple times. And how to write open loop captions that convert. So a lot of my captions, um, they're not Chat GPT. So my CTAs, I cater that to solve the problem. So, for example, I don't just say comment guide below for a free guide. I would say something like comment grow below, and I'll share with you how I grew from 0 to 3,000 followers. And making your CTAs really specific as to how you can provide a solution to that problem. Lead generation via Reels, like I mentioned, you cater to people's pain points, and really having specific keywords in your content, such as like if I would write in my captions, I would say something like, when I was new, it was really hard for me to grow that keyword. And then I would say something like, oh, when I first started my Instagram, I found that you had to do certain things in order to grow in this space. So Instagram and grow, it would like feed into the algorithm. And the more basically SEO keywords that you trickle into your content, into your hook, into your CTAs, the more leads you can generate and the more targeted your leads can be. Your leads are basically the people that are viewing your content, reading your content captions, and then leaving those keyword comment. And then they become your leads once they reach your DMs. And lead generation via DMs without cold DMing. I don't cold DM ever. Cold DM means you reach out to people first. And that's also how I got one of my accounts restricted, because Instagram, of course, does not like that. You do not want to cold DM someone first. If you have to, make sure they're following you first. So when someone keyword comments, leaves a comment keyword on your content, make sure you comment them back on your reel and say, make sure you are following to receive my messages. Because last thing you want to do is get restricted because this person is not following you and you're like randomly DMing someone. Approaching a lead and nurturing, almost there, halfway there. Approaching a lead and nurturing. Um,
Sorry, Trixie, just
I
give me a quick
Yeah,
30 seconds just on like the cold messaging thing. Yeah, with a new account, we never want to cold message, but Robert from our program, he's having success cold messaging people. But that's a totally different strategy in itself.
yeah.
I just want
Like
to,
I mentioned,
give a disclaimer, it works, but you gotta use like an age Instagram account, not a new account. And it's a whole different strategy from like what Trixie is doing.
Yes, that's true. So, yeah, like I mentioned, each digital marketer, each creator has their own strategies. If you're DMing from an aged account, that means Instagram like trusts you more, like you're a real person. If you're a new account, they're more kind of strict on that, so be wary. And let's see. Approaching a lead and nurturing. So when they reach out to you via keyword comment lead, how I would approach them once your many chat triggers this response, I would follow up. And I don't really just leave it to bots. I make sure to go pop back in there and kind of, spark up a conversation. And there's pros and cons. It is time consuming to nurture leads. But if you also want to just do like a automated flow on ManyChat, you can also do that as well if you don't want to be on your phone 24/7. But what has worked well for me, honestly, is chatting it up with these people on my DMs. Um, so yeah, it's just based on your everyone do. And scripts and building rapport also goes into that, nurturing people, really trying to determine what it is that they need help with rather than pushing products down their throat. Um, finding out how long they've been in this space to really try to get them talking about their struggles, emotions, resurfacing their emotions as to why they want your help or why they would, likely purchase your product, resurfacing those emotions of distress, and then resurfacing emotions of motivation, excitement. So say things like, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait for you to start this. You can have so much fun, blah, blah, blah." um, like I said, emotions sell. So get them talking before you even provide your link or push products down their throat. How to handle objections in closing. So this is actually what I learned from working at a psych ward. How we persuade patients to take, their medications and to help them, um, avoid a crisis is basically handling objections with the objections. So what that means is, let's say, oh, I would love to, but I don't have money right now. I would say, oh, I totally understand. This is an investment. It's something that you have to think of. If I were you, always try to relate. If I were you, I would not, purchase this on the spot as well. Um, but what made me also purchase but what made me also start was because, like you mentioned, always try to relate. Like you mentioned, I also don't have the money to begin with, so I knew I had to start something in order um, to help solve that problem. So something like that. So basically, um, relating to their pain point, reflecting, make sure they're being heard, um, using their objections to kind of give them that push, motivation, and ultimately sell your experience and your journey as well. How to announce your wins. So, a part of my marketing strategy is announcing all of my little wins, whether it be growth, leads, or sales. I announce them all throughout, and that gets the momentum going. People wonder, just like it's social proof. So it's basically proof that something works. So strategically announcing that, every time that there's every little win with excitement, with energy, and curiosity driven approach. Key messaging, sales tactics. So when I message people, I don't just say, "Hey, how are you? How long? How's your journey? Did you want to buy something or start?" Again, nurturing the person. I would sometimes look in their page first to see what it is that they're struggling with and kind of bring that up, subliminally by relating to it as well. Using teases to entice curiosity. Um, I also market on another platform. It's called Threads. It's basically like, Twitter, but it's connected to Instagram. With Threads, I post a bunch of Threads posts on there and say things like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is finally working." And they're gonna be like, "What? What is working? What worked? Or like, what happened?" Like curiosity driven approach also gets people in your DMs and wondering, what's working for you and how the hell you generated this all this money. And um, posting curiosity driven statements, things like, "Oh man, you guys wouldn't believe what happened today," or I don't know, things like that. And sometimes people engage with your polls as well in your story when you post stories like that. Anything that can get anyone in your DMs, basically. Training your story views. One of the ways that you can sell your products is through your stories. How you increase your story views. Story views are basically how many people can see your stories. Without people seeing your stories, is basically not effective at all, because um, that's where people can view your products, can buy your products. Sometimes you can even put direct link on there, and then they can, what we call, silent purchase your product directly on there. How you train your story views, you have to have something clickable in each story, whether it be an emoji that they can click, a poll that they can answer, um, a slider that they can slide. You can ask questions like, "How's your day? Good, bad, horrible?" You can just put polls on there, and that increases story views, meaning Instagram will think that your story is interesting enough to get pushed out to more viewers out there. Um, More viewers means more exposure. More exposure means more people can see your offers, and the more people you can get as your potential customers. Almost there, guys. Almost done. Thread strategies. So Threads, again, like I mentioned, it is kind of similar to Twitter from back in the days, and Threads, you have to post there consistently to get your brand known. I post at least 5 times, and I interact with people on there 5 times. So I try to make a genuine connection with 5 digital marketers on there, comment and support their Threads posts. Because the more people see you, the more they'll remember. This is why I said your avatar is also a really important part of your brand. Because if your icon looks like a bunch of all the other thousands of people's icons out there, you're not really easily remembered. So, really choosing a profile picture that's either face forward has, more advantages because they see you as a person. But if you're faceless, make sure it's something that can stand out as well. So, Threads, again, like curiosity driven Threads posts and continuing to engage on there. TikTok strategies, I mentioned already earlier. Briefly, I use TikTok for TikTok Shop affiliate, but I also have another TikTok on there that I use for digital marketing. And just like with IG, how I primed it was I followed other digital marketers on there. I would search digital marketing, and then I would follow people, and they'd follow me back. But the algorithm there is so much different. Whereas Instagram, if you interact with a certain niche, most likely you'll stay within that niche. With TikTok, you want to post more what we call top of the funnel posts on there. So instead of educational reels that I post on like IG growth tips and hacks and blah blah blah, I post more of, how I generated this much money online, and that broadcasts it more to a wider audience that are more likely to purchase from you. TikTok audience seem to be more impulsive in that case, so they'll be more inclined to start something and purchase a higher ticket product from you versus Instagram. Creator search insights basically means what topics TikTok believes that are in need of more content. So you can use that as a starting point to generate the type of content to get more audience. So, for example, how you get to creator search insights on TikTok, you go to TikTok, you go in the search bar, type in creator search insights. It would show on there the topics that are in need of more videos. So you click on the topic there, you create a video of that topic, and TikTok will give you a push because it wants more videos of that topic. And you can kind of trickle in digital marketing in there in that topic. Like, for example, on there, one of the keywords is how to monetize TikTok, and digital marketing is also how you can monetize TikTok. So you create a subject off of that, I mean, a video off of that, and then you do that. And that is about it. And the more longer you are in the space, you'll have people wanting your services, your help, and that's basically how I scaled up, is people wanting my help and all that. But overall, digital marketing is it's a challenging but very profitable, uncapped potential of income here. And yeah, it's a good way to generate that extra side hustle. And thank you guys for bearing with me. And that's about it. If you guys have any questions. Do you make more money from Royston's program as an affiliate? No idea. What? Etsy or Canva better than Beacon storefront? Which app do I use for bread? Okay, so I'm an affiliate marketer, so meaning I sell a bunch of other people's digital products. Of course, you have to purchase digital products in order to sell them as an affiliate with digital marketing. But you could also create your own. So I use Canva to create my own products, and a lot of it is basically like how-to guides, like kind of like this masterclass. So I generate those type of products to sell, or even as a free guide to my audience. But most of the time, I do sell a bunch of other people's products. Okay. And why did I use Stan Store? As I have both, actually. There are some products that are only hosted on Stan, some products that are only hosted on Beacons. So having the two options, I guess, makes it more flexible for my customers. And which app do I use to edit videos? Good question, because this is actually really important. Use Instagram directly to generate your videos. It will reward you for using it by giving you push. If you write your words and your SEO keywords directly onto your IG video when you're editing it, it gives you more of a push. So I use that to edit my videos. You can use other things, but I found
So,
that it worked.
so you edit on the Instagram app itself?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So, because I tried creating a video on another app, making it look all pretty, transitiony, and all that creative stuff. But it seemed to have, I don't know, less views than the ones I directly created, because that's how it is on TikTok too. So I feel like these platforms want you to use their video editing programs, and then they give you a push. And how do new digital marketer find leads when they are new with no experience? Okay, good question. How I made my first sale. So how I made my first sale was basically, like I mentioned, catering to digital marketers. With no sales, with no experience whatsoever, I started documenting my progress. And what I mean by that is I documented how much growth I achieved within the span of 1 week, 2 weeks. And when other digital marketers see this growth, um, they'll immediately message me and say, "Oh my gosh, how did you grow so fast organically? Blah, blah, blah." And then I pitch the product that helps with um, helping with growth. So, like I mentioned, I do sell multiple products, and there's, certain products that help with different types of problems. Yeah. So that's how I got my first sale, by just documenting my growth, not necessarily even like my sales, but just my growth. And what content do you post when you are new? Like I mentioned, I created posts about my journey. I just was really transparent about how hard this was. Like for example, my first post is just a reel showing who I am and introducing myself. My second post is just me, like in my diary. I'm documenting like this is my day one, and this is what I've been doing so far, what I did, how many followers I have. So basically, just documenting each step, each day of my journey here. And what's my start to finish reels creative and copy process? What does that mean? What's my start to finish?
What's the start to finish, like how do you like basically entire A to Z end-to-end process when it comes to creating your reels? Like what sort of like videos? How do you even know like what sort of video to create in the first place? Like do you like see other people's accounts and see what's going viral, then recreating it, or
Yeah, good question. Because that approach and that strategy may have worked in 2023, 2024, but this era of digital marketing, you really have to stand out because everyone else is already doing that. Everyone is doing viral videos and recreating it. So, what I do is, like I mentioned earlier, I think of what problem, first, I think of what product I want to sell. And then I think of the product and I think of the problem that that product is going to solve. And that's what my content is going to be about. Like, for example, a lot of my customers have trouble selling anything. So I would post content like you've been in digital marketing for 1 year but haven't sold one item. Here's why. So I would post educational videos to cater to that problem and to sell that specific product. And also, some products on there I create my own. So also creating content to try to sell that. So basically, how I think of content is based on the type of product that I want to sell through my reels. And if it's something like your course, I would say things like hooks are really what will sell you. So I would sell things like POV. You finally found something that works without taking off your clothes, or I don't know, something like that. Something like a hook that will capture an audience's, attention, but also subliminally answering a problem to their solution. Does that make sense? And is that a no? Because I don't know. And what strategy?
it makes sense. But like what if somebody isn't as creative or isn't as like they don't have a lot of ideas, or if somebody's like first starting out? Because like for you, like you know your target market so well that you're able like create, reels ideas on the top of your head. But for most people first starting out, like how do they, sort of like replicate such a success?
Okay, well, if you're just starting out, um, I would say, yeah, like what you mentioned, get inspo from other reels that have already gone viral. You can start off from there. And the more you um, get used to that idea of how the hooks work and how we can capture your audience attention and how to sell, then you can start creating your own, because that's the hard part of this is creating those hooks and being and standing out from others with those hooks. And if if you find that you're just starting out, what you can do best is, yeah, replicate what's currently working, what's gone viral, but again, keep the product in mind of what you're trying to sell, because that's what your content is going to be based out of. And what strategies are my students implementing that they get such great results, 10K in 3 months? Okay, so like I mentioned, I cater to current digital marketers, and I have my mentees also do the same. They basically replicate my strategies, and that's catering to digital marketers and solving their problems. I have multiple products. Okay, the business, it's an investment, but I do have multiple products that I invested in. But the good thing is digital marketing is such an uncapped potential where if you buy one product, you can resell that multiple times. So every time I purchased a product, I basically flipped it times 20 times. And that's how I've been able to rack up all this. Is because I buy products that would possibly help the problems and provide the solution to their problems and sell this to help with their problems. And I ask my students to really generate hooks that solve these kind of problems, like what we most have, which are how to get your first sales. Again, using the hook of like, you've been in this space for 6 months and still haven't gotten a sale. Here's why. And then you would write in your captions, say something like, oh, it's hard as a digital marketer to create these sales. But this is something that I've been working with in the past 6 months. And here is something that has worked for me. Blah, 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 blah. And then CTA, your call to action would be something like comment sales below. And I'll tell you what it is that worked for me in generating my first sale. So immediately that will get people to want to comment your keyword to find out the solution to your problem. And when they comment that, automatically my product gets shipped to them via the link, and that's how they can purchase. And this is what I get my students to repeatedly do in their reels, to position their reels to sell these products repeatedly. And so basically each reel is making us $100 to $1,000 per reel. And yeah, how's the strategy for faceless accounts? Faceless accounts and face forward accounts pretty much similar. And however, it's really important to stand out as a faceless creator. And one way that you can stand out is through captions. The strategy for faceless accounts is being different with your words. So I know it's easier to do chat GPT, but if you write your own words in your captions, it's best to stand out as a faceless creator. So that's my strategy for faceless accounts, is really generating that trust, differentiating yourself as a brand. Like for example, one of my students, he's a cartoon, but he's a cartoon of himself. And that's one way that you can stand out in this space, is basically creating something different from everybody else. And for my faceless students, it could just be something as generating, a cartoon or AI version of themselves. And you can use ChatGPT for that. You can upload a picture on there and say, Chat, can you create a cartoon version of me? And yeah. Anything else?
Which app did you say you used to like create like a cartoon version of him?
Yeah, there is you can upload a picture on ChatGPT, like a
Um,
headshot of you, yeah, or something, and then you can say in the prompt, create a cartoon version of you. And another app is what's called Kling AI. You just download it, and it'll help with like generating a. There's all sorts of apps you can just utilize it. Download it off of the App Store or something like that, and yeah.
and another question I have, like, taking a look at like your mentees' accounts and stuff, like,
Mhm.
how do you tell them like what sort of video to create, like in terms of the video itself, Because there's like so many like random videos, some of like people walking, some of like them at the park. Is it just like a variety and like trying to mix a lot of different stuff?
Yeah, so with what we call B-rolls, you just create like random videos of you in action. For me, it's just a bunch of videos of me in my car. And yeah, and sometimes it would just be, doing housework stuff. And to be honest with you, the type of the videos that you're doing, it's not as important as the message that you are creating. So, yeah, really focusing on the message rather than like the videos. I feel like it's more important to have the hook on point on there versus the reel itself. And for faceless creators, there's stock banks, there's real banks, and you can just post random ones. It doesn't really matter as long as your hooks and your captions and your CTAs are on point. And what else? Hello?
Anyone else have any other questions? One thing I realized is um like a pattern with amongst your mentees and yourself is like they recreate your success in their own unique way, meaning like they have their own like color palette, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
pink, whether it's blue,
Mm-hmm.
um, like the sort of like video content style is similar, like editing from the Instagram app, and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And I know like you like audit an account and give feedback and stuff. So how would
Mm-hmm.
we give you like example account from one of our students over here, Mara? Her Instagram handle would be are you able to share our Instagram?
Face, it's faces with digital mom.
Faceless Digital Mom. Uh,
Okay, let me search
It's
Mira.
face with,
off
it's faceless with WITH digital mom. It's one word.
Faceless with
Faceless with digital mom.
That's right.
yep. Faceless with Digital MOM.
You?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, this is me. Yeah, Trixie.
Okay.
So
Okay,
how
what's the
would you
question?
how would you audit an account like this? Like, what would you change about this? What's the entire revamp strategy for this?
Oh man. Oh, sorry, Mira.
Where
Yes.
do I begin?
Oh, okay. So this goes back to I like this. I wish we could do this. Like we could do like audits because this is where I what I like to do. So and this is how I can best teach is through auditing like my mentees' pages. So, like I mentioned before, creating reels like a commercial, like an ad, like a billboard, like an advertisement. Like I run a boot camp and I like kick their butts with like audits and stuff because I'll tell you straight up. So don't I mean this is just tough love, okay? Don't get insulted or anything. But that these type of reels, they will not sell. Like these promotional advertisement type of looking reels, it will work for someone of Royston's hierarchy there. But for us smaller folks, we can't be doing this because authoritative versus vulnerability approach, people relate more to vulnerability versus authoritative because who the hell are we to tell people this works, you need to buy this, you need to do this. We are not in that position to. Royston can, which is why he's a millionaire. But for us, especially since we're still starting and we're trying to build up our brand to get there, what works is relating to people, really trying to connect with people. So when we post stuff like getting people to start, like you heard faceless digital marketing is blowing up but you have no idea how to start, as one of your reels on here, that's a good educational reel, and your comment on here. Okay. That would be a good reel if you had like 1 million followers. But if you're just trying to grow on here, you would have to post reels like that are genuine and authentic. So post reels such as how my digital journey currently is. You know, how my digital journey is currently going, you know, would be your hooks. I know it sounds counterintuitive to like, because you're wanting to sell the product, but you can't sell you can't sell the product if you cannot connect or relate to people. So creating content that will get people to like it, to comment, to engage with it, will push your content out more to people. So do more reels that are, I guess, relatable to others. Say something like, you know, how my journey's going. And it could just be some random, you know, like this content bank that you're already doing. It could be that, but your hook could just be how my digital marketing journey is currently going, and then just write a caption about it. And as for your growth, you have, let's see, how many about this account? When did you start? January 2018. Is this an old account?
Yeah, this is the old one, like purchased one. I bought it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I would advise you get a new account and grow from there because you're gonna get stuck here at under 100 followers. To be honest with you, I don't know. Again, like it may work for some people, but with my strategies and my student strategies, it's best to to start a new account because that's where growth is more um experienced. When you're brand new, Instagram
Mm-hmm.
will push you out. So I suggest you create a new account and
Okay.
you do the exercises that I showed you on here, like priming your account and all that, because these first couple steps are really crucial in with aligning your account to the right audience. So right now, your Instagram, your algorithm, it's all over the place. That's why your real views are like under 100, 150, because it's being shown to people that are not interested in your content. So it's best to start a new page, um, and do these exercises that I mentioned, and yeah, start fresh.
Sure.
And let's see, 10K is I know you have on there 10K plus as a complete beginner, but people can see, you know, your results. So it's best to at least have, you know, disclose that it's a community win because, you know, you can still generate sales and leads, but you really have to be honest with and transparent that it's a community win rather than, you know, your own, because people will dig deep in your Instagram and they will find out that it's not yours. So really, you know, saying that it's a community win, and then they'll be more likely to want to join the community. Um, yeah.
So Trixie,
And
apart from like, especially regarding the reels, one strategy you said, like, like how the digital marketing journey is going. Other than that, like what are the other things? Because that not be the only thing, right? I will be creating reels on in the beginning. What are the other things I should focus on? Because right now it's so new, and that's where I'm getting confused on daily basis what I should actually be creating, which makes sense.
yeah, understood. So when I was new, I switched things up. Like I said earlier, I did what's called like a journey diary reel. So, you know, I'm basically documenting how day to day my journey is going. And the other ones would be educational reels, like IG growth tips and hacks. But this is why it's also important to grow on there the first week or two of starting your IG, because you'll be more in a position to teach your audience how to grow, rather than if you have 40 followers and teaching others how to grow. It's not really very credible. So the first step would be to prime your new account and grow organically, but meanwhile you can post personable content. Connection is key, not selling. We don't want to sell during the first 2 weeks. We want to connect with people, because these are the people that are going to buy from you. This community, this digital marketing niche, these are the people that are going to buy from you. So really connecting with them. So post, I know you're faceless, but what I tell my mentees is post, things about themselves, how, what they do, and things that they like. So personable stuff, so journey, personable stuff, and then educational reels, not just commercial reels of this is how you can start, because everyone is doing that. And as a small account, that won't work.
Makes sense.
And Royston.
Yeah, I gave 3 more. Are you asking me about the handles? Yeah, these 3 are other accounts of our students. Would be the first is Tam, the second is Rob, the third is Evie's.
Evie. I
Evie,
know.
yep.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
So, yeah. These guys are actually in my boot camp right now, and I am auditing their page as we go. With Evie, actually has my strategies in place in there. So if you guys don't notice, her name is Digital Exit Blueprint. And what she's doing on there, Mara, since you're wondering, like, how, what to post as a small account when you're just starting, if you look at her page, I advise her to create more personable stuff, documenting her journey, her wins, her life. I know she's face forward, but you can also do that as a faceless creator. Um, Creating
Which one is
content,
that? Sorry.
digital exit blueprint.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, she's not showing a face at all. It's a totally faceless account.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so I advise her to, record her journey, create educational reels based on IG tips and growth and on sales. And that's basically, yeah. And the same with marketing digital with Rob. Um, with that, I would advise more. He's also leaning towards more top of the funnel, like promotional content, but I advise him to create more like personable things of that nature. So he's posting more videos of, himself, working out and traveling, basically anything that you can post to connect with others. Mira, is it Mira? Mira? Okay.
Yes, that's
Um,
right. Yeah.
okay. So yeah, post more content that connects more with others rather than trying to sell them something, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm going to create a Trixie and then I'm going to share so you can review and see if, we are on the right track. But really
For sure.
appreciate that, that you're reviewing it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure. You're welcome. And then I missed the account here, Mindset Before Millions. So that's a theme page, it's an account page. It's also one of the ways that you can market your products through quotes and theme pages. And with that, since it's not very, you know, conclusive to like selling, like it doesn't look like you're selling, that could be beneficial for some because how you sell on there is basically through your link in bio and a CTA in your quotes saying like, if you want to monetize a quotes page like this, see my link in bio for more info. And that's how you can direct your audience to that link. And anything else?
Any other questions? Telly, Mara, Nancy.
So Royston, I have a question. Like right now, the link which we have, like I have two links. The one which was initially I was using, and then later on I got the another link. So how I should be like, is that I should be using the second one where it says like, it's a more uh, less price, or the first one, or is it we create a stand store and then add both of them there? I'm confused. Like, should I have a stand store and then add those links, or just the lever saying that just use this link for now? I don't know if that creates the credibility, like how, because everyone I'm seeing having the either stand store or the other one, I'm forgetting the name. There are two of them, right? The stand
Beacon.
store and
Yep.
yeah, the
Stands.
beacons. Yeah, the beacons. So is that, because I don't know if it's I should be having it in the beginning, or should I wait, or what do you both think? How to promote that, especially the link?
Yeah, sure. So like with the link we give you, when you have like two links, you don't need Standstill and Beacon, you can just add those two links on your IG. Standstill and Beacon is for more for people who have like um multiple products, usually like more than two or three products. And the digital products that they want to promote usually uses Standstill or Beacon to sell. Whereas we use a different platform, so it's not really important. Like that's not the deciding factor of things. And I know before this, like Trixie used to have like a jillion like different products on your stencil and beacon, but I saw that you trim it down to only a few right now. So I assume like you also agree like if there's too many things, people get confused and like having a few call like office and stuff do way better, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So like Trixie like also promotes like other digital products, but you gotta like buy and promote. You don't need to. You can just use the one we give it to you. And you don't need like a stand store or beacon store since it's just like one link or two links. And people get less confused when there are less choices. If there's just like one or two choices, it's easier for somebody to make a decision to move forward with it.
Okay. So should I be using both the links, the initial one and then the one I got later, or
Yep.
just one?
You can put two of it. Yep.
Okay. So it does let Instagram lets us add two links, because I did not try adding both of them. I thought it's just we have an option to add only one.
Um, like for my account, I'm able to add more than one. Um, I think you should be able to add more than one link as well. If you click on links, add external link. I remember Trixie used to like promote two links, so I think it's possible.
Yeah, it's
Sounds
possible. I
okay.
think you
I
can
will
put
try. Sorry. Yep. I will try to add that today. Then both of them. But is it for both the links, or should I just say that free guide here, or what is the right? You know, like, is it we should be saying free guide here and then the link at the below, both the two links? Is that going to confuse people?
Yeah, you can always like the two links we give you, like the first one is for somebody to like opt in to give their name, email, and number, then to watch a free video training. So for that, you can take free, like money emoji, digital income training, AI automation training. Then the second link we give you, and to reply to Naoko as well, we also have a different link that's like a $500 product that's similar to what Trixie is selling. So that's somebody that, that's something that somebody can just like purchase online. So you can say like, um, this, you can use like a similar sort of call to action that Trixie has, which is, so like for the free video training, that's a soft call to action, like, learn more about digital marketing, learn more about like online income stuff. Then for the one where somebody can purchase directly, you can see, Digital Millionaire Club course, for example. Um, so that's the difference.
Okay.
And now go ask, do you purchase white label products? They don't call it white label, like you don't really white label it. It's still under their branding, it's like it's not a PLR product, you're still selling somebody else's product, the ones that Trixie is promoting. So you don't need to like recreate it, redesign it, just like sell it off the shelf. And how does Trixie chooses what products to promote? It's literally promoting like the most popular products. UBC, that was like the most popular product. Then there was like DWA, but Trixie wasn't promoting that. Um,
So what I do is I basically, I try to find out what the problem is that a lot of people are having. For example, like yeah, growth in sales, and that's the product that I sell through my reels is basically catering through their problems by selling these um products. So, and also I tend to invest in, what's currently trending on threads or wherever I feel like, the next thing is, and then I flip that. And yeah.
So you don't have to say just a quick question on like, so you don't have different accounts. You still use the same account, but then create and then have multiple products, right? But using the same account. And then based on you're coming up with the different reels and then the pain points you are, focusing on based on the product, which I understand, but still using the same account, not
Correct.
each account for
Oh,
each product. Okay.
oh, correct. Yeah. So I host all of my products on Stan or Beacons. And although I only have like, 1 to 3 items in my store, I have those links hosted on there, and that's what I send on the DMs, and that's what they buy.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So just to like recap and summarize everything that Trixie has taught today, just to see, if I've missed on anything, Trixie, or anything else you'd like to add on. For smaller accounts first starting out, it's all about relatability, it's about your own journey, like who you are, whether, maybe you work a corporate job, and you can say like, oh, one of your reel could be, oh, this is how I'm spending like an hour a day despite having a corporate job, and trying to relate to people from starting out. Either that or you leverage the community wins as well. Like, oh, this is why other students are having success in our community. Check it out on top of your own like progress and success you're making out and stuff. Um, then I see the sort of real content that's being created. The styles very similar to like your mentee styles are very similar to like your main account style, where it's like the hook, then the screenshot of something, of
Hmm.
the result and stuff. Um, so I think that's basically that. In terms of like the main strategy and stuff. And I know like on threads, you also like search up keywords on threads on like people searching a certain keyword and you like trying to like message them like somebody's like in between or deciding, then you like give in your thoughts and chip in stuff. So
Yeah. So on Threads, search digital marketing, and then click on recent, and then whoever pops up there, I would like and comment their post to kind of just get in front of their eyes. And then I click on, you search digital marketing on threads, and then you click on trending. And that's how I basically know what to also post on threads, is whatever is trending on that under that keyword.
And I'm curious, Trixie, like what's the breakdown in terms of like the sales you're getting right now? Like what's the breakdown between from like IG Reels versus like people who view your stories versus like threads? Like what's the breakdown to
Mhm.
where your sales are coming from?
Sure. I would say about 80% of my sales come from my reels, 10% from threads, and 5% from stories, and then 5% from word of mouth.
And I think what Trixie is doing is very achievable, because like your reels, they're getting like a couple of thousands of views, and yet it's generating you so many sales. It means like your reels are very like it resonates really well. Um, it's really effective, it's really like impactful. I think like a lot of people can also, see like what you're doing, take inspiration from it as well.
Yeah, it's all about relating and connecting with people, really, more than just selling the product, is to connect with people.
Mhm. I think the final question for me, Trixie, is like, yeah, what's next for you? And like, what sort of parting, words of wisdom do you have for everybody?
But next for me is, I don't know, the sky's the limit with Royston as our mentor over here. I'm, trying to see how far we could go. And just as long as you keep going, guys, and set like your goals and just have fun with it, connect with people, be excited for things. You guys got this.
Amazing. Any other questions? Okay, now I'll close it. Thank you so much, Trixie, for being so open, generous, and sharing your techniques. It's really encouraging. I want to ask, in your experience, how long should I stay consistent and patient for expecting to see?
So it me took me like I mentioned, I started over twice. So my first account, I waited for about a month before I decided to create another one, and also because I got banned. And then another one, I waited for like another 2 weeks maybe. So I get really I don't know, I guess impatient. So if I don't see the traction and the growth that I should be getting, because I aim for about 50 followers daily. Immediately when you start a new account, you want to aim for 30 to 50 followers daily. If you're not generating that, I just continue making a new account, because this is what I use to show my progress to sell products. Especially if you don't have a sale yet, your growth is all you have.
Thank you so much. Sorry, I think it's faster to talk to you directly than writing. Thank you
Yeah,
so
sure.
much for your all the insight. So Instagram, in my understanding, Instagram, is it safe to recreate account? Because I know TikTok, we were we needed to be cautious about not keep recreating account, right?
Mm. Yeah, so as long as there's a limit, I believe 5 or 6. So
Mhm.
as long as you delete one of your previous ones and then you create a new one, you could do that.
It should be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good to know because I live in Canada and I know TikTok was a little harder to actually create an account with all the
Mm-hmm.
VPN and the SIM card and all the strategy, right? But I know
Yeah.
Instagram is a little bit more lower
Real.
bar for me. Yeah, more doable for me. So I think I would like to try. But then I just wanted to know how the structure looks like. And then I think your masterclass today was giving me lots of insight. And thank you so much for revealing all your techniques. I
Sure,
appreciate
no
that.
problem. Sure, thank you.
Okay. Uses Trixie answered this question earlier. Like she liked to use like a new account and the email name would match the Instagram account name. So let's say your Instagram account name is digital wealth, blueprint, whatever, then your email would be the same because Trixie found that to be useful, beneficial. Okay, if that's it, yeah, thank you so much, Trixie, for your time. Really appreciate it. So inspiring to hear your story and like we forgot to ask like what's the total sort of sales you have made so far, you know?
Oh yeah, so on Instagram right now I am at 79,000-ish, and then on TikTok about 15, 16K, so almost 100K.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
How much of that is profit? Like,
That is profit.
there you go.
Hey.
And forgot to ask, how has your life changed, you know, like prior to like making this online money post, like how has your life changed, you know? Like
Yeah, I'm able to spend more time with my family, take more days off from my nursing job. I cut down from full time to part time, so doing more vacations. And yeah, just simply being more present in life.
amazing. Like more exp like not having to like, you know, double check the bills and going out to expensive
Yeah,
restaurants, buying expensive
yeah,
groceries.
yeah. Kids are expensive, dude. So not having to worry, really about that, it's a blessing.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you so much again, Trixie, for your time. Thank you, everybody. I'm gonna pause
Yeah.
this recording right now.